Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland! This is for you!
What's up, Cleveland? How we doing? Welcome to tonight's edition of The Block, The Shot, The Stop, a Blue Wire podcast where we discuss the Cleveland Cavaliers. I am Tim Daniel. With me tonight is Skylar Webker. And Skylar, I don't know how to describe tonight's game. So they do lose a 132-129 game to the Philadelphia 76ers, who are without Joel Embiid. I can take solace in the fact that Paul George and Tyrese Maxey were on the floor and they were really good tonight. I can live with that. But really, I don't know how to describe tonight's game because, yeah, they made their mistakes. But I thought Philly just shot the ball really well. I don't think it was like Cleveland was leaving them wide open all the time in the corner or anything like that. I just think it was just a night where Philly was hitting their shots.
Yeah, especially the long ball. They finished the night at shooting 53%.
Yeah,
from three, which is the best by far for them this season. And they took, what was it? No, I think these numbers are skewed here. 40 piece?
No, that's not skewed. That was legit. They shot that many.
Well, yeah, no, on my thing, the way the columns line up on my thing, it says they took 87. I don't think they took 87 threes tonight.
I don't know, man. It felt like it.
It did. Yeah, I mean, it just a weird night. Like, it's not like the Cavs are giving up good shots or you know, they played defense well. Just one of those nights where like they couldn't miss.
God. So to put in concept, so Paul George tonight, 30 points. Kelly Oubre Jr. double-double, 22 and 13 rebounds. Yabusele, 12 and 13. Tyrese Maxey, 29 and 7. And then Justin Edwards off the bench with a solid 15, 6 and 1 was 3 of 6 from deep. So to put in context, so I'm just going to go ahead and read this part of it too before we get into the Cavs side of things. Yabusele, 2 of 6 from 3. Paul George, 6 of 11. Eric Gordon, 4 of 4. Kelly Oubre, 1 of 3. Tyrese Maxey, 4 of 8. Bona didn't shoot one. He doesn't shoot him anyway. Justin Edwards, 3 of 6. And Jeff Dowden, 1 of 1. So 21 of 39 as a team from 3 tonight for the Sixers. Did I get it done?
They had a higher 3-point percentage than field goal percentage. That should tell you how this game went.
Yeah, it is. So I will say that I do think they buckled down. The first quarter, I did not think they played very well defensively, to be honest with you. I thought Philly had like a lot of opportunities. They turned those opportunities into buckets, and they got off to the start they needed to get in this game. Second quarter, Cleveland turns it around. They make it a closer game in the half. Defense looks awesome in the second quarter. I mean, they really, really kind of made it a game. But that was like the only quarter they really looked good from start to finish defensively. Third and fourth quarter, obviously things don't go their way, though we do get the Ty Jerome buzzer beater at the end of the third. Ty Jerome had an incredible night tonight with 33 points, 8 of 8 from 3. So that was awesome. But I think that right here, what we're going to talk about is people are going to look at the record and they're going to say, you shouldn't have lost to the Sixers. The reason the Sixers are in the record position that they are in right now is because of their 3 best players. One of them misses a game every night. There's been a lot of times they haven't, like all 3 of them have missed. There's a lot of nights where 2 of the 3 are out. Tonight, they had 2 of the big 3. And you have to give them credit for that because those 2 are really good, without Embiid. And it was the first night in a while Jared Allen was not awesome. Like, he was okay, but wasn't awesome by any means. And again, I'm going to repeat what I said after the Houston game earlier this week. You're down LeVert, you're down Okoro, you're down Mobley. 3 guys you can make the case are 2 of your best, your 2 best defenders. And you can make a case for LeVert to be maybe in the conversation for the 3rd one. And that's certainly going to hurt you, especially in perimeter defense in games like you saw against Houston and tonight.
Yeah, and then on top of it, Dean Wade missed a bunch of time in this game because he got injured throughout the game. So you're down Dean Wade, you're down Isaac Okoro, you're down Evan Mobley, you're down Karis LeVert. So that's 4 guys that get regular minutes.
Yeah, 4 rotation guys.
So yeah, shorthanded. Thankfully, you have the depth that you have to make it a close game. It really was close down to that kind of the wonky turnover there at the end, or the trying to inbounds and get your wires crossed and end up throwing it out of bounds. It was a 2-3 point game at that point.
Yeah.
No, 1 point game.
That's right. Yeah, when they got the inbound because I think it was Justin Edwards missed his second free throw, and you're like, gave Cleveland a chance to get back in the game. Yeah, Ty Jerome, for how great he was the whole game. I mean, down the stretch, he misses that first free throw and then has the inbound play where him and Mitchell just don't seem to get on the same page, and he throws it over Mitchell's head and goes out of bounds and gives Philly the ball back. That sucks. It happens. That's not why they lost tonight, but
free throws though. What is going on with
2
the
games
Cavs?
in a row?
Yes, late game free throws. You think, oh, it's a blip in the map in the Houston game with Darius Garland, and then it happens again tonight. And you're like, I mean, I know Kenny Atkinson has his own way of coaching. He has my full faith. But if I'm Kenny, all these guys are in the gym and they are not leaving until they hit 100 free throws, which means Tristan Thompson might be there for weeks.
Which is funny because they actually shot really well from the line tonight overall. It was just down the stretch. So they were 14 of 19 as a team. Jerome had 1 free throw miss. It just happened to be the biggest miss of the game. Mitchell, 6 of 8 from the line tonight. Garland goes back to 2 of 2. So looks like that was just a blip in the radar, that Houston game when he couldn't hit him down the stretch. But yeah, man, just a really, really irritating night in that sense. You got to give hats off to Philly for how well they shot on the Cleveland end. We're sitting here talking like it's a panic button almost. They're 36-8. We're not really hurting as bad, and we're still sitting pretty like awfully pretty in the conference at 6 games above the Celtics.
Yeah, because the Celtics like to keep losing too, which is a-okay with me.
Oh my God, they looked awful last night.
they looked so
terrible. Bad. But that's another podcast for another time. Go check out our friends over Agree with MV, and they'll tell you all about that game.
Yeah, they weren't happy about that game at all.
Nope. I don't blame them a bit. But yeah, 36-8. Things are going to be okay. It just was a bad night. So let's kind of go through some individual performances like we do. So Donovan Mitchell, hopefully this is the turnaround. Hopefully this is him getting back on track because we've all 3 talked about on our shows we've been on, whether it's me and Kevin, you and Kevin, me and you, has been a little up and down of late. That second game in Indy was really good. And then tonight was really good. And then Phoenix was really good. And the games otherwise was not so good. But 37.7 assists tonight, 7 of 15 from 3. Just kept scoring, man. 33 minutes played. So there was that. Had 3 steals and did have 4 turnovers. But, with the way the Cavs were playing there at the end of the game, they were just trying to kind of get back into it. So that part's disappointing. But I can live with it with how well he shot. So,
yeah, I love it when Donovan Mitchell is shooting well, because those few games where you're like, dang, that sucks. And especially games where you're missing Evan Mobley, you kind of need your stars to be the elevated stars to even stay in contention.
Yeah. So Mitchell was really good tonight. Garland again, 26 and 7. So I'm going to say, even though the Cavs lost tonight, I won. So I did a parlay. As you know, I'm not a parlay guy. I normally don't like the parlay. I did Darius Garland over 6.5 assists and Donovan Mitchell over 3.5 threes. I was sweating at the end of the game because Garland was sitting at 6 assists going to the fourth quarter and did not get one till like the last minute of the quarter.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't get my bets in for tonight, but it's a good payout, right?
Yeah. So nice. So that was like double my money. So I'll take that every day of the week.
Hell yeah.
But Garland, nice bounce back game after everything that happened on the stretch in Houston. Hits a huge 3 to keep them in the game. when he's in the corner when Mitchell finds him by himself, and just kind of solidifying the conversation we've been having. Put Darius Garland in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I think he's getting in, and
I do
it sounds like all the writers think he's getting into, because the media or the writer votes came out also.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't remember where.
He was like 6th.
Is he 6th? Which
Yeah.
6th is in. Yeah. Was he 6th with fan or 6th with writer?
I thought his average score was 6. Was I wrong?
Of course, the NBA posts like a million things. So I have to scroll through a million things to find it. Nonetheless, I mean, he's definitely making it. Evan Mobley's definitely making it. I think right now, Jared Allen is the only one that's like on the verge.
Yeah. Which
but a lot of that can, he should be in regardless. But a lot of that can change with injury and anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of who the guys ahead of him are. Because I think Embiid is still ahead of him, which
that's silly.
I don't know how you can be an all-star
and not play
and play 13 games. He's played 13 games this season.
Yeah, that's what they call a fan vote, and that's why fan vote can be a gift and a curse. But it's not like he's going to play in the All-Star game if he gets in. So, whatever. But all right, so Ty Jerome. Let's talk about it because we talked about the bad, but there is a lot of good tonight. 33 points.
Lots of good.
Like we said, 33 points, 8 of 8 from 3, 11 of 14 from the field overall tonight. Yes, did miss that free throw. Yes, did the ball away. But also had some big steals. I mean, he pickpocketed Paul George when he was guarding him at one point in the game. This was a really good game for him. And he also had a really nice game against the Rockets the other day. So hopefully these really nice games start turning into wins at some point for him. But I thought tonight he was, there's no other way to put it. He was tremendous tonight. Yeah,
he was the spark that this team needed, especially going into the third quarter, coming out. In the third quarter into the fourth quarter. I mean, he was an absolute spark plug. I mean, he was perfect from beyond the arc, right? Did he finish perfect beyond the arc?
Yep.
So, and most of those came in the third and fourth quarter, which really, really helped the Cavs. They needed that a lot, especially because they kind of got smoked in that first quarter, or in the first quarter and in the third quarter. I mean, like we said, Philly just couldn't miss any shots tonight.
I don't know if they could have missed if they tried. They just like threw it at the backboard. I felt like it was going in tonight.
It really did. It felt like there was nothing we could do to stop it. And I think a part of that is this team is missing Evan Mobley.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And Okoro for the perimeter. Spencer told us the other day when we had Spencer Davies on just how important Isaac Okoro was to this team. And he talked about the locker room portion of it. We're also seeing how important he is on the court too, as kind of your stopper. And Kevin and I talked about that the other night in the Houston game too, where if you throw Isaac Okoro on Fred VanVleet, maybe his shooting looks a little different in that game. So I'm gonna test this 2-game losing streak. It's only the second 2-game losing streak of the season. I'm just gonna put it to they're down now, if you count Dean Wade, 4 rotation guys, and it's really hard to win when you're down 4 rotation guys.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm curious though. Once you get into playoffs, obviously the the depth gets shorter because your rotations get shorter. I'm curious what Kenny Atkinson does when that time comes. Riding on your stars a little more. Even tonight when like nobody played over 35 minutes, Kenny Atkinson is staunch on that.
He's smarter than us. Did you just hurt your hand?
Yeah, I lifted up and I smacked it on the bottom side of this desk.
Ooh, I've done that.
Which would be real great for the audio listeners later.
Yeah. You're just here like doom. Like a doink, like a missed field goal.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just as painful, depending on what side of the field goal you're on.
Yep.
The other standout performance I wanted to call out tonight, though, was Jalen Tyson, man.
I was going to do the same thing. Yeah.
I mean, he's gotten probably one of the best opportunities of anybody in his draft class. Yes, he's putting some time in the G League, but he's also getting the opportunities here on a 36-8 leading the league NBA Cleveland Cavaliers basketball team. And Kenny Atkinson seems to trust him a lot. I mean,
yeah, he does.
He's in there for more and more. Now, granted, those minutes are going to get cut once, guys get healthy and stuff like that. But I mean, even him tonight was Ty Jerome, Jalen Tyson, 14 minutes, came in, got you 3 points, a huge block on Yabusele, and 2 rebounds. I mean, he was doing the dirty work.
Yeah, I was gonna call him out too as well. So I'm glad you did. He was really physical. He took advantage of his opportunity, and I thought he was really, really good. So thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate it. I'm glad we kind of got that out there. You mentioned league leading Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, they are now tied with Oklahoma City for the best record at 36-8. So while people might say, what's the big deal there? Let's say that ends up being the NBA Finals that we all want, which we all want. Do you want Game 7 in Cleveland or Game 7 in Oklahoma City?
Cleveland every day.
Every single day. Yes. So obviously we got ways to go. We have about 3 months till the first round of the playoffs, but just keep it in mind. But hey, still 6-up on the Celtics, and that's all that really matters. So you want the Celtics coming here to the Rock with everything on the line. So
we'll see. We'll see who they face in the first couple of rounds.
I know.
Stranger things have happened. Let's say they match up with New York, or maybe they match up with
Milwaukee.
Magic, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's hot right now, man.
You'll see. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
You just gotta get in. That's the thing. You gotta get in.
That's right. All right. So, any final touches on this game before we kind of move to some news?
Tristan Thompson is pulling back Father Time's hands. I mean,
another 10
2
minutes
games
tonight. Yeah.
Another 2 games where he's putting in decent minutes. Now, granted, they clearly need to get somebody other than Tristan Thompson to be a third athletic big when they don't have Mobley or Allen. But Tristan Thompson is sufficeable until we get to the buyout market.
Yes, I completely agree with you on that. Hey, man. So it is that point of the year where we start looking at the NBA starts releasing their merchandise sales records. And Skyler, I would say the Cleveland Cavaliers have been letting them know. And you can see it now because they were the 6th top selling team in NBA merchandise this past year through the first half of the 24-25 season. I think I have contributed to that. Grace got me a nice, sweet Cavaliers shirt for Christmas.
Nice.
So Kevin's got a couple new Cavaliers hats we've seen on the show. So we're going to count that as well. And our listeners, you're starting to see they're talking quite a bit about picking up some new Cavs gear. So there's that. So Cavaliers 6 behind Boston, LA, the Knicks, the Warriors, the Bulls, which those 5 are always the top 5, no matter how the season's going for those teams. So yeah, Cleveland ahead of Dallas, Minnesota, San Antonio, and Milwaukee. And then Donovan Mitchell, the 15th best-selling jersey in the league. So kudos to Spida on that. That's pretty awesome. So pretty cool to see the world taking notice. That's another previous slogan, right? That was not pun intentional. That was no pun intended. So it's nice to see that people are noticing this Cavs team and really, really hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah. The thing that I like the most is the Cavs are right after you get past the largest market teams, New York, LA, Boston, San Francisco, Chicago.
Yeah.
Cavs, like a small market team, they're ahead of everybody else. Like once you get past that, high dense population, big fan base, like that's what I like. I love seeing that small market team kind of rising to the top here.
It cracks you up the Spurs are there, and I know it's strictly because of Wemby jerseys. That's the only reason.
Hey,
not really.
global.
I shouldn't say that. So I wonder, because that's going to not only, if I remember correctly, that doesn't just take in like the Nike sales. It takes in Fanatics, Mitchell Ness, New Era. So I really wonder, and this is going to sound silly because this is not to take away from the Cavs team. Mitchell Ness sells Cavs LeBron jerseys. I wonder how much those are contributing.
I think the Spurs one, I think you're right as far as Wemby because that's global sales and Wemby's a huge name.
Dude,
not
those
even
France
in
game,
States,
that France game, it was like all over the arena.
It's crazy.
It was
just seeing
cool.
how much they celebrated him in those France games.
Yeah, and then did you actually see? So Netflix released a trailer yesterday. They're going to be doing a doc series, kind of like Starting Five, where they're going to be following for the Olympic team. So the U.S., Serbia, France, and Canada. We're going to see all the behind the scenes from the Summer Olympics. I am stoked for this.
I saw like pieces of it on X. I didn't get to watch like the full trailer or anything, but yeah, that sounds awesome. Do you get to go behind the scenes for all of those nations?
Yeah, no one loves Olympic basketball more than Tim Daniel. So
nobody loves basketball more than Tim Daniel.
That might be true. That might be true. I didn't want to say it that way though, but yeah, I haven't watched any Unrivaled yet though. So should I like kind of get that? Does that get revoked at this point, or once I watch again, do I get the status back?
I think you're still good. I think you've put in enough game hours to.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So wanted to make sure we kind of gave a shout out to the Cavs. It's really cool to see that. Really shocked OKC was not in the top 10 because Shea is going to be the MVP this year. It's looking like he just had another 50-pointer.
Jesus,
dude, he's been awesome. And kind of going to Mitchell Ness selling like those like retro jerseys like Durant and people like that, and they get the Sonics credit. So
yeah, they do.
Genuinely kind of surprised by that OKC not being in the top 10. But if you look at it, it's you can kind of see like the big markets, and then Luka, Edwards, Wemby, Giannis. You're like, all right, I get it. Like,
yeah. I mean, and then I think that, like you said, it ties into Donovan Mitchell being 15th in jersey sales this year. I'm
he's
sure
a New York kid. That helps a lot.
Yeah. New York kid, been in the league for a while, so I'm sure give it a year or two, and you're going to see Evan Mobley jerseys starting to climb those ranks. So I think it's all big markets, but also stars.
I got my Mobley jersey as rookie year, so can't call me out on anything bad there.
You're early on the wagon.
Hopefully he's back tomorrow.
Oh God, I hope so.
So tomorrow, the rematch with the Houston Rockets, who the Cavs made a valiant effort to get back in the game against on Wednesday, as Kevin and I discussed on Wednesday's show, just to lose 109-108. But these like playing a team twice in 3 games, there's things are really tricky to win both of them. And so for Houston, this will be their, they have not played since Wednesday, and that'll be their first game for us. Obviously, we're hopping on the plane tonight and getting back to Cleveland in time for the game. But Skylar, when you look at this game, what's the one big thing that kind of you want to see really fix besides obviously player availability?
I can't really ding anything on this game because, like I said, it's not like they gave up great shots. Philly just couldn't miss. The hoop was the size of an ocean for them tonight. Definitely crunch time free throws, just because that's got a bad taste in my mouth from that first Houston game and then this one. I think that would be something to resolve if it comes about, but ideally you're not in crunch time free throws, part of the game. Hopefully you're winning by enough to not need them.
Yeah, agreed. So I think the biggest thing for me is like, yes, tonight you're right. Houston, I don't think was the case at all. They gave up a lot of wide open shots. So hopefully they're a little bit more physical. Hopefully they stay home more and they're not, switching everything to where, Houston can take advantage of these picks, like these screens and these dribble handoffs to kind of get more open shots. Van Vliet was tremendous. I mean, he just couldn't miss. I feel like in stretches he was really good. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is just kind of stay physical, try to bounce back. I'm genuinely curious. Mitchell struggled really bad against Houston the other night. Kevin and I kind of broke this down. They have the prototypical guy to guard Donovan Mitchell and Asar Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
How does Cleveland find a way to get Mitchell off Thompson in this game and get some shots? Because you can run picks, you can run that inverted pick and roll that Spencer talked about the other day with Mitchell and Mobley, but it's going to take a little more than that because he is very physical. He fights over screens. We all know how athletic he is. What did LeBron say about him and Amen, his brother? They are not like us. We are not the same. So I'm genuinely curious about that. And then does Şengün get ejected this game because of how physical he was at Allen in the previous game, and there might be some bad blood?
Well, did you see that the NBA came out after that game and said, "Oh, that last basket by Şengün shouldn't have count. He hooked Dean Wade or something like that, or yeah, he hooked Dean Wade, so that basket shouldn't even have counted." Which fine, but doesn't change the record. It doesn't, the record is still the same no matter what the NBA says.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I hope it's a good game. I hope the Cavs, I could really use a Cavs dominating win. Like not something close, not, I want the starters don't even play the fourth quarter type of win.
Yeah, they certainly need that. Is that likely? I don't know if I'm going to go that far. But yeah, this is definitely one where you got to get picked up because Monday gets really important again. You old friend JB comes to town.
Mm-hmm.
Are on fire.
Good. I want the Pistons to do well.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, look, who's after schedule?
Houston, Detroit. Then you go on the road for Miami, and you come home for Atlanta.
Yeah.
And
so,
then you got on start February, you got Dallas and Boston back to back.
Yep. And then Pistons again. So you got a road. And I think we talked about our gauntlet earlier, and then we blew through that. This might be an actual gauntlet, knowing where we are on the season and
health-wise
and teams just like getting their situations figured out outside of Miami and Phoenix. We were the anomaly on the season with 15-0 and then another 12-0 run. So now that we're kind of simmering back at earth, how do you play these guys?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But Dallas, I'm not as concerned about considering they're down Luka and Lively now. That certainly hurts. But we'll get there when we know. We got to get to this game tomorrow first, obviously. But yeah, it certainly looks like it could definitely be a gauntlet. I think the Cavs will be ready to play, and I certainly think that this is not going to last. I think this is just, like I said to start the show, they're down 4 rotation guys, and I think once we get these guys back, we're going to be right back to where we were to start the year. And I mean, realistically, with where they're sitting, I have a hard time believing they're going to drop out of having a situation where they're in home court advantage. So I'm also going to go the route of just get to April with as many healthy players as you can, and you'll be fine. So,
well, I have faith in the all-star coach, Kenny Atkinson. That was one thing that we didn't get to bring up, but
we didn't talk about Mitchell getting selected either.
Yeah, he is officially the Eastern Conference coach. With Boston's loss last night, it solidified that Cavs will have the best record going into the All-Star game, which is pretty great because there's a little bit of time going into that still.
Yep. And so can you name he's the 4th Cavs head coach to be the coach of an All-Star game. Can you name the other 3 off the top of your head?
Go. I know Ty Lue and Mike Brown.
Yep. Those are the easy ones. The first one might be a little tricky.
Yeah, it's 1989. They had it on the broadcast, but I don't remember the coach's name.
It's Lenny Wilkins.
Lenny Wilkins. There we go. Whew. But this is the first non-LeBron coach to make it as an Eastern Conference.
Since Lenny Wilkins. Coach. Yeah.
Since Lenny Wilkins, yes.
Which was the 80s. Also, like we mentioned, Donovan Mitchell selected as a starter for the East. Awesome. Him and Jalen Brunson. Which, we'll see how the whole breakdown thing goes as far as like that, which whatever. So really cool. His 6th time making it, second or third time as a starter.
Second time starter.
Second time starter. First time as a Cav starting. So
no, he was a starter last year.
Oh, you're right.
And last year was his first time starting.
He never started in Utah. That's crazy. I guess Steph, Clay. Yeah, he had a lot of guards to compete against in the West at that time. So
yeah, Booker.
Yeah. We can go through that. That could be a whole.
Dame
episode.
was out there.
Yeah, Dame was out there. CJ never made it until he was like an alternate.
Yeah.
Chris Paul. Yeah. He had a lot of people he had to compete against. But that's really awesome. I'm stoked that he's getting his opportunity and that he's going to be representing the Cavs in the All-Star game. So congrats to him. And really excited for those guys to kind of get their opportunity. And now we just find out in a couple days when the rest of our guys are joining them. So
when does that vote come out? Do you know?
I think next Thursday. I think it's normally a week apart.
Okay. So yeah, it would be next Thursday then.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. We'll be tapped in. I think Kev might have a really big guest coming up for NBA Weekly next week. You guys want to tune into. But we're going to go ahead and close up shop for tonight's block shot stop. We will be back tomorrow to recap the Rockets game. And hopefully we have better news than we had the past couple nights.
Be all three of us tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the game plan. So on behalf of Skylar Webker, on behalf of Kevin Lynch, thank you all so much for tuning in. We are a part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network covering the Cleveland Cavaliers. Thank you all. Have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow.
Go Cavs.